Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to me.
Thank you.
Now, I went to see Chris Rock's documentary, or as I've told people, his mockumentary about the black hair care business called Good Hair. I've actually seen it 3 times. The first time I saw it, I was upset. I called you right after I came out of the screening.
Yeah, but I think I'm the one that told you that we were doing it because I lived
Yeah,
in LA.
Right. The second time I saw it with an audience. I appreciated it. I laughed. Then the third time I saw it, I said, you know what? Chris is educating people. A lot of people for the first time are going to learn about this business and what's gone on. But I felt that as insiders in the business, it was our responsibility to set some of the records straight, and I wanted to come straight to you to find out about the black hair care business and the kind of money that's in this business and what's happened. So let's go back a little bit to the curl. At that point, I remember the black hair care, because I was working at Johnson Products Company,
Yes.
the people that made Ultra Sheen and Afro Sheen.
Yes.
And down the street from us was a little company called Soft Sheen, little company. And I had Miss Cool, 5 Minute Facet. And I remember I had a curl, because I came from California. And I said to the people at Johnson Products Company, I said, you should do this product, you should do this. And they said, no, we're into relaxers, it's gonna be a fad. Soft Sheen came out with Carefree Curl through the roof. How much money was made in the Jerry Curl, as they called it, or the curl?
It was perhaps the largest movement, Angela, in the history of hair. And it makes me feel good to know that I introduced that process. But it was, I stated earlier that it was in the military by which this process was born, using the ammonia thiol product to do the curl. And in 1971 we did that. But it was like 10 years later before anyone called.
Okay, so you started putting cold wave on black hair around 71.
Well,
when did you?
Actually, Angela, it was really, to be honest and frank, it was really the Afro era. It was really around about 1964, like 20 years before.
20 years
when we
before.
did the Afro, we did the blowout.
Oh, the blowout. Of course.
So it wouldn't change the texture of the hair, but it would get the matte out.
Okay, so when they were making blowout kits at that point, okay, when did you first create the Calfornia Curl? What year was that?
Well, I have to kind of take you back now. I invented first the blowout.
Okay.
Then I invented the military.
Yes. Okay.
Thiol hair relaxer.
Okay.
That turned into the curl.
Okay.
And then it was there that all of that was born. So the curl really took it evolved through probably from 1963, 64, all the way to 1978 before it really became popular in society.
Okay.
It was in the military prior to that. And people really don't know the history of the curl. I remember going to Johnson.
Johnson Products Company
Johnson Products,
in
sitting
Chicago.
talking to his chemist, and also Thomas Hayden and other different stylists was there. And they decided not to go with the curl.
I remember.
And that was a serious mistake. And I always say, Mr. Johnson, I was talking a few weeks ago, and he was saying, I saw you in Cincinnati, Ohio, he was telling me, and you had just finished the show, and you had money sticking out, he said, out of all your pockets. But the curl grossed more money than any other product in the history. It's the most copied product in the history of our industry. Everybody, when I introduced the curl, people talk about different ways you do the hair. Every company practiced. When the Jerry Curl first came out, they tried to do it with liquid.
Yes.
It didn't work. When Soft Sheen came out with it, after about 2-3 years that we had Calfornia Curl out, they tried to do it with putting the cream on the hair and then neutralizing it. That didn't work. Everybody had to come back the way Willie Morrow did it, and that was you had to pre-soften the hair.
Pre-soften the hair, and that's how you got your hair to have the ringlets.
So and that's how I did it, and everybody followed me.
Okay, but how much money did you make from the curl?
I mean, we made a lot of money. I mean, we sit in
millions, 50 15 million?
We did about anywhere from 12 to 15 million
12 to
a year for a
15
number of
million.
years.
For a number of
Yeah,
years.
in fact, we had about 125 employees and here in San Diego. But nobody really, Angela, recognized what was going on, what they're doing with it. And we expect to get back to that point today. And that's why I was so willing to go up and participate in the Chris Rock
Right.
piece. In fact, I had gone to Los Angeles and participated with BET on a piece to document how the history on how the curl actually came about. Because everybody wants to lay some claim, and nobody really have no
Well,
claim.
but I was in Chicago at a point where I heard, Mr. Johnson himself, and a number of them all give you the credit. Now, remember when they founded the American Health and Beauty Aids Institute?
Yes.
At that point, now, did you ever join that organization?
No, you know why I never joined
Why?
that group? I never joined that group because Mr. Bronner one day addressed the group and told the group that since we have this scientist, this guy that seems to, he brought the afro to the front, the afro comb to the front, the first barber book to the front, talked to military, now he come out with the curl. He seemed to have a mind to create these things. And he said, why don't we make him a honorary member of the organization? And they almost stoned him.
Oh my God.
And he came back and told me. And then I said to myself, if these guys don't understand that what drives this industry is new ideas, if they don't understand this, then I don't need to be a member of that.
Okay.
So I never joined the group. And really, they never encouraged me to join because I'm sure they knew that I would probably be a thorn in their side.
Well, no, because they did evolve. Because they did come to a place where they recognized that you were responsible for them making $1 billion.
Yes.
So
Billions.
Billions.
Because
Yes,
the curl made so much
the
money.
curl changed their lives. I mean, the black hair care.
Many folks' lives.
the
Hairdressers
black-
included.
The black hair care business went through the roof.
Through the roof.
And they were on top of the game, and they were controlling an industry. Then something happened, and they lost it. I remember the year, was that 1982, when the president of Revlon made the statement, where he made the statement that there's not going to be any more black-owned hair care companies.
In a few
There-
years.
Yeah, in a few years.
Yeah.
And remember Jesse Jackson buried the Revlon products and all of that?
He buried,
Yes.
Jesse buried the product, and
Yes.
then they went through the whole thing. It was a gentleman by the name of Irvin, I think, Botner, Irvin Botner.
Uh-huh.
He was in Revlon.
Yes,
That
yes,
said
yes.
that black folks will lose the beauty industry. That was his name,
Yes, yes,
Irvin
yes.
Botner.
Yes.
And guess what?
What?
Only a few years later,
It happened.
it happened
It
just
happened.
like he said.
Right.
But Angela, when you can't reproduce yourself,
Yeah.
you die. I always tell people now, Coleman Cottrell came and sat in this room, Angela, where we are now.
Yes. This is
And
from Proline,
from
sure.
Proline. But it was me that taught them how to do the curl kit. The curl kit carried them over, but they
Yes.
couldn't reproduce themselves after that.
Right.
You can see what happened to Soft Sheet. I mean, they couldn't
They grew,
reproduce again.
they grew very big from Carefree Curl.
Right, but they couldn't reproduce again.
Because of the innovation. It was the
Yeah.
innovation
Yeah,
in the product.
They can't innovate.
But the other thing was the distribution. Also, black hair companies didn't control the distribution and allowed the Koreans to come in and take over
I
the beauty
always
supply
tell folks-
business.
I always say that we couldn't control the sea lane of distribution.